My name is Eston Mgala. I think I don't have a job description. People have failed to give me a job description because I do a lot of things like how things work in nature. But I'm one of the co-founders for this organization, and I've been here from first day up to now. So I've grown with this demonstration for almost 5 years, and I've seen how things work. So whatsoever I'll be talking here is something that I've done it and I've seen it, how it works. The man who confined this word permaculture, Bill Morrison, you see, originally he observed that I think the birth of permaculture is Africa. Because looking to permanent culture, if you look to our culture in Africa, okay, much of the things we are doing now, you find that the birth is through the way of how we have been living. If you look to the agriculture we are talking now, our forefathers, okay, they had no chemicals to grow crops. They were not spraying chemicals to control pests and diseases. They were able to, through our own traditional way of doing things, they were able to grow a lot of food, okay, learn from nature and work with that. You see, you talk of medicine now. You see, through our cultures, we've been using natural medicine. You see, from our culture, and we've been able to cure ourselves. By then, there were no hospitals. You see, we used to drink waters from the rivers. There was no pollution of water. You see, through our old cultures in Africa. So I think the birth of permaculture is that traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge from the African people that we have lost. Okay, we have not been able to tamper that knowledge and maybe put them in the books and whatsoever and make use of that. You see, so if you look to sustainable development, I think also learn to the tradition, okay, to the way how people used to do things in Africa. Okay, you find that there's so much that would be able to use that knowledge and be able to develop our sustainable communities in our villages. There's nothing new. There's nothing strange. The permaculture approach helps us to understand that whatsoever we're doing in life, we should make sure that we're working with the environment without working against it. I've seen most projects on the globe that we're trying to do projects. We're designing projects in a linear form. Straight. It starts, you have the donor gives the money, the project starts, it ends. But I think, to me, I say that real sustainable projects development is designing projects in a circle. You see? It should be in a circle, not a linear project. Okay? If people are wondering that there have been billions and billions of money given in Africa, but people are still poor, what's happening? We are designing these linear projects. You have a donor, you have the NGO, you have a community member. The donor is giving the money, he's spending. You see, we're not designing projects that they're secular. They just continue automatically. You see, yes, you may have some financial inputs, but where you're investing that, okay, and when you're implementing that project proposal, should be really a project that will empower the community and they will benefit from that, but it will continue even if without money. Okay, so people sometimes they wonder what's permaculture. They think it's too much complicated and oh no, permaculture do lots of things. We find that if you look to learning from nature, things in nature work together. They don't compete. Much of the programs we do, we compete. Then you find that there's a loser and a winner. Okay? But with permaculture approach, you integrate things and you find that there's cooperation. Okay? It's very pathetic to find that you design a project, you are saying we're working on agriculture, separate project, nutrition, separate project, health, separate project. Does it work like that? You see, agriculture and health, they work together. You see there. So the approach of permaculture, it brings most things together and they work together. And through that, that's why it becomes very strong. They sustain each other. Even if there is, when one component of the project may be affected, but will be strong because of the other side. Basically, I would say maybe the approach of permaculture brings that kind of web of life. You see, there's that connection of things. Looking to the definition itself, to the simplest form that people would understand, I normally say that permaculture is a holistic design. So it's a design. It's not a subject. It's a design. What we're designing should be something that is creating harmonic integration between us and nature or environment for mutual benefit. Okay? We cannot stay without the environment. The environment can stay without us. That's something I think we're forgetting. Okay? And normally sometimes when we're doing things, we say, I don't care. I think we need to care. Because this earth we have is what we have. We don't have another one. Okay? And sometimes we do things, we say, I'm throwing away. There is no way. Okay? Take the whole earth as your body. We tend to think there's America, there's Europe, there's Australia, there's Asia. Take the earth as your body. If you have a problem here to affect, it will affect the whole body. So if you take your leg maybe as Japan, what's happening there will still affect you. Take your head maybe as America. Anything happening in your head will still affect the whole body. So let's have that understanding that the earth we have is what we have. So we have to take care for it. Okay? Look into the ethics also. They're very strong. Okay? Again, when we talk of permaculture ethics of care for the earth, okay, sometimes people say, should I care for the whole earth? Should I care for America? No, we're saying care for the environment. Take care for the environment where you are. Your neighbor should take care for the environment where he is. Your neighbor should also what? Little by little, we may do something good to the environment. The second one, care for people. Okay? I've been asking myself a question that we have lots of organizations. We have lots of support from donors. But people are still poor. Where is the money going? Where is the money going? We have been receiving billions and billions of money. But go out into the village, people are still poor. Sometimes organizations, government, we normally don't put our heart to the life of the poor people, which we say we want to help them. You see that? So we have this that donors give the money to the organizations. Okay? The organization, they will have all this stuff. You may find that even the staff who are recruited to help people in the village, there are people who don't have the heart of helping the community. They say, I'm employed. By the end of the month, I'll get paid. I don't care what's happening there. You see that? There's that lack of connection of the feeling of the poor people and you as extension officer who is working on that project to help those people. You see? We don't walk the talk of trying to help those people. So the resources are coming, but they're not used in the light place because of the people, the attitude of the people who were putting them as frontline community workers to help our people in our communities. And is that some of the resources, because of that, you find that the resources are diverted. They don't reach to the people. But in your records, in your reports, for that resources have reached to the people. That's what I think has been happening in my. So care for people, I think, start with you. Have that heart of trying to care, or having the heart of trying to help other people. There are orphan care in Africa. Lots of orphan care centers. People who are initiating these orphan care centers do really have the heart to help those people who are orphans. Okay? People who are working with people who are positive, HIV positive, do they really have the heart to help those people? People who are working with people who are aged, okay? Do they really say, if we are working with people who are aged, do they really help those people? So I think it's a bit tricky. A project can be there, but it takes the heart to really help those people. Okay? It takes the heart of working. If a project has a goals and objective and mission and vision, you also have to have that heart of helping, being a staff from that organization to be able to deliver to that that thing. Then fair share, surplus share. I'm looking to say that I think we have lost the heart of sharing things. We used to share things in Africa, but these days we don't share. I don't know, because maybe we are buying everything. I'll give you a good example. If you go into a village, you find that, to me, a village, when I say a village, it has women, it has men, youth, orphans, people who are positive, the aged, people who are disabled. All that makes up a village. So you may have orphans in that village, but it's one family. It's one family. Okay. Then you have that door. They have orphans in that door. There is a go there, a person who is aged, maybe 80s. Then somebody is having food and is throwing some of the food away, while in another door, somebody has slept without eating. Okay? You see, I think we have lost that culture of sharing. So basically, I would say that permaculture, what does sometimes, it opens our eyes to be able to see the resources which we have. Then we try to pull those resources within that design. And then those resources, if you integrate them within that design, you see, oh, that I think we have lots of resources. That's why people have said that in Africa we're not poor. Okay, we're just poor in our head because we're not able to see that this is a resource. Most of the things we take, they are waste, they are resources which you can use them. So can you see that we have problems? Yes, we have problems, we are poor, but we think solutions for our problems are in America and Europe. Okay, so we write proposals to you, you give us the money, but we're not solving the problem. You see there? So I think I see Permaculture is unique. And saying design, I've met different people, local and international level. They say, is Permaculture a subject whatsoever? I said, no, it's not a subject. If you have a master's in whatsoever subject you have done at school, when you can use that knowledge from school, okay, that you have learned in different field, biology, science, and whatsoever. But the cautious thing is that when you are using that knowledge from school, on your field, when you are using that knowledge in your design, should be something that you are designing that will help people and environment. But sometimes we're very cautious. At school, they taught us that a weed is an unwanted plant in a garden. That's what they said. In Permaculture, I'm saying a weed is an important plant on a long place. In a maize field, it can be a weed. But if you can analyze that, you may find that it's a feed for an animal. You see there? In a vegetable garden, it can be a weed. Okay? But find that if maybe you analyze that plant, find that it helps to improve soil fertility. You see there? So if you had a negative attitude to that plant, find that, no, I think it's very important. It will help to improve my soil fertility, but again I can trim it either to make and maybe make compost or feed an animal. You see there? Just looking to analyzing the resources we have and how we can make use of them. Okay. Permaculture at international level, it was developed in zones, looking to the issues of energy and availability of resources. Okay, to say that zone, now with the zoning, we have 5 zones, but now they're adding up more. Okay, it's that there's zone 0. At first there was zone 0, but now they're talking of zone 0, 0. To say that the first zone 0, 0 is yourself. You see there? It's yourself. Meaning to say that before you do something, you have to think. Okay? That's also is connected with the design. Because they are the one who is designing. So before you design, the first zone 0 is you thinking, observing, learning from other people, learning from nature, learning what's happening. You first think. Have that time to think and observe and learn. Okay? Then the second is in 0. You see, we know in the books they have given much an example of like a building. It can be a house or it can be a center of a project whatsoever. That will be your zone 0. Okay? So it's first yourself personally, then the place where you normally stay. So if you think of a house, you spend a lot of energy walking around your house, doing a lot of activities happening within your house. That's another example of zone 0. But now, I think we should add. I've observed that I think we need to add. So, zone 0 is a building, but again, I think it's your family. Okay? Because I think, if you look to books, most people look to the side of structures, infrastructure. But I think I'm saying, why if we add that another zone 0 is your family? That when you are doing a design, first think about your family. Okay? Then zone 1 is intensive vegetable growing. I've added another one that I think zone 1 is your close relative. It's a vegetable, yes, but also your close relative. After looking out to yourself as zone 00, then you look to the family as the another zone, then also you look to the close relative too. Okay? That whatsoever you're doing, you're looking to say, is it benefiting me? Okay, it's benefiting my family. Then which is benefiting me should not be something that should also benefit my close neighbors. Then there's that connection. Okay, there's that connection. Then I think zone 2, they're saying is a food forest. Okay, but again, can it be your neighboring communities if you on the other side? Okay, then through zone 3 is a staple field. okay, but it can also be your it's places where you're doing projects and you're interacting with all other stakeholders into that. Then of course, yes, zone 4 is a wood rot. Zone 5, we just have to leave that wide for nature. But I think with this kind of zoning, let's understand that in Africa, like in America, most people maybe they have is just small private land. They may all do design of those zones, others in cities, others in rural areas. But issues of land in Africa is a bit different. And we have to understand that. Like I've seen in the country that maybe the adoption of permaculture, yes, it's there, but there's some resistant because of the approach we are using to the people. You see, I'll give you a good example. That zone 1 is intensive vegetable growing. Right? You find that you see others. If you just focus zone 1 is intensive vegetable growing, people sometimes they will not understand it because the same zone 1, other people they're saying it's a backyard garden, it's a nutritional garden, it's a nutritional kitchen. You see that? So also we have to look. We should not just concentrate on the way, but also look to the other context. How are people understanding the same zone 1 in another context? You see? So if you look to say that if you are pushing it just for zone 1, some people they will have resistance. But for some people, if you say a home garden, they understand that one. If you say a nutritional garden, they will understand that one. You see? So sometimes, yes, let's look to the wording, but also let's look to what would some people understand more than just focusing on it. Okay? Because for other people, even the word permaculture, they are not happy with it because it umbrellas everything. But what they show much interest is the approach on the ground. You see? So meaning to say that sometimes for other people, you can just take the word permaculture out, then just do the things on the ground. Then when they are fruiting, you say, this is the permaculture approach. So, wow. You see? So that's zone 1. But now in Africa, a zone 1 is along the river. We normally grow vegetables, intensive vegetables, along the river. You see? So you may find that this zone 1 in permaculture is promoting upland gardens next to homes, schools, health centers. Okay, where you also have to look to other issues like water source. Animals are in free range. Animals are in free range in Africa. We just leave them animals. You see that? So sometimes, yes, we can focus on zone 1, but also look to how do we manage animals? What resources do we have? Okay. Now, like with the people working in the communities, are we saying they should stop growing their zone 1 where there's water or along the river and they should bring that to their homes? Yes, but it goes with the amount of land you have. Okay? You may find that there's some people, just after they build their house, they only have this small space. Okay? You may find that maybe you may teach them about zone 1, but maybe what would work would be container gardening for them. You see, putting things in pots and whatsoever. You see, so I think it's a broad aspect of how do we talk about the intensive vegetables about zone 1. I think zone 2, the way I've seen in most places in Malawi, people have zone 2, but spread out. Because for most people, like we talk of a food forest. A forest with food. What are these people trying to say? But if you analyze it, it's a diverse orchard. In an orchard, if you read the books, they will say plant these fruit trees 5 meters apart, 5 meters apart. Then you say, why do you leave all this space without making use of them? So find that yes, we are learning from a forest, but a food forest is a diverse orchard, which is making use of all layers of what? You are having food from the ground to the last canopy of what? Of the space. So in the communities, my father, some people they have fruit trees around their homes, but they have some at the staple field. They have some along the river. It's where they have some fruit trees. So some they have already zone 2, but it's spread out. Okay, and sometimes looking to issues of land, you may not just have like a small zone 2 at household level till the valleys with issues of land. 3, I think, is fine. With Malawi, it's just a staple field. We normally have staple field, but I think we share much on black access, which we are doing in the staple field. Come again to zone 4, they talk of woodlot. Looking to issues of land again, there are people, there are few would have just a specified woodlot. Okay, I think for most of the projects which are happening in the country, a zone 4, you would expect to say these are places where we have to plant trees. Okay? So, some they would plant trees for homestead around their homes for fire break, for wind break and whatsoever. They will plant some agroforestry species at the staple field. They will plant some trees along the river bank or catchment. So I think we should maybe say, I normally say that zone 4 are places we have to plant trees. Then zone 5 again will explain that places we have to plant what? We just have to leave some places just for nature. Now, for people who in their mind they think I should have a healthy project, I should have an agriculture project, food security, nutrition, climate change, environmental conservation. Okay, they find that in permaculture all these are integrated. Let's just have an analysis of a simple example of a zone 1, intensive vegetable growing. 1, with permaculture, what are we sharing with our fellow farmers in the communities? You find that we are not coming with something new. What we are saying is, you people, you are just growing one crop at a time. With permaculture knowledge, we are saying, no. Can you not integrate some few? Okay? Yes, you have learned that they will compete at school, but observe nature. Learn. You find that they will not compete. They work together. You see, you may have cabbage, you may have onions on the same bed, you may have some beans, you may have some lettuce. All these, they will not compete. They work together. Okay? And they mature on different intervals. So you have food all the time. Okay? Most farmers, they just grow these brassicas families of vegetables for few months, then we have nothing. Malawi is a 12-month growing season. Okay? Let's understand plant and functions. If you know that this vegetable grows for 9 months, don't buy packets today, put all on the nursery, transplant, then you have a lot, then you have nothing. Have a planting calendar. Some plants are on the nursery, some you have just transplanted, some they will blade in a few weeks, some you are eating now. So you have all that. Okay? Then, if you look to analysis of plants and their functions, you find that at the same time, when you are eating those, you are taking a lot of diet. So food and nutrition is something very big. Okay? Few years Malawi was food, they said we are very famous on food security with the subsidy program. I was not agreeing with that. Malawi was not food secure. If Malawi was food secure, I think then we should really define the word food security. Okay? But what we had in Malawi, we had more maize. My question is maize food security? You see there? So, you see like we had more maize, but we had a lot of malnutrition. So also organic donors, they're supporting Ministry of Agriculture, they're creating problems for Ministry of Health. You see how things work. Nutrition and health, they work hand in hand. If you don't eat food with calcium, you go to the hospital, they'll give you a tablet of calcium. If you don't eat food with vitamins, you go to the hospital, they give you a tablet of vitamin. So, food and health, they work hand in hand. Okay? Food security is not maize. It's not growing maize twice through irrigation. Most NGOs, government, Ministry of Agriculture, we talk of food security, is maize. And I'm very sad that maize now is a political crop. It has been politicized. It's a political crop. Okay? So, organizations which are working on food security projects is growing maize twice a year. That to them is food security. Okay? But that's not the truth. And if you look to nutrition, where we teach people about nutrition in the country, we teach women at the health center about eating six food groups. They go back home, what they have is sima. They'll eat sima. We teach people about nutrition by people who are positive. We teach them about eating healthy when they are on ARVs. Then we normally use the 6 food groups poster. Okay? Permaculture brings practical nutrition. How? When you are doing the design, you design those 6 food groups, then you grow them. So when you're talking about nutrition, you are talking of things you have them. You see them? Okay. Look to schools. We have a lot of schools doing feeding programs in the country. Feeding programs. They're giving them knowledge. What they're doing, they're giving them energy. They're not giving them food that will help children to be able to stay in class. They're not giving them food that will help develop their brains. Okay? We're just giving them energy. Children, they don't just need energy. So we're still doing feeding programs, but we're creating a stagnant generation of youth in the country who will not be productive citizens. Because their brain will be just stagnant and they will not be thinking much as like adults because of what we're doing. But you are leaving lots of school places with a lot of space just the sweep. Okay? With Permaculture, that means schools will design those environment to be productive. The same time is learning and teaching aid. That if you teach people about student in the class theory, you go out, you should be able to show them, and they should be able to do it. A health center, they're teaching about nutrition, they should show them, they should have those demonstrations at the health center. Okay? On the other hand, if you analyze some of these plants, you find that they have a lot of medicinal element. Okay? They have a lot of medicinal element which will help to build up our health. So Permaculture think on health, on the other hand, is on the prevention side. Okay? If you are eating healthy food that you will not go to the hospital. It's very sad in Malawi. Women leave fruits in their homes and go to the hospital to get vitamin A for their children. Just a tube of the vitamin A. Vitamins A are there in the fruits. We don't eat fruits. So I think you see the understanding of things and how we share the knowledge to the people. I think like I've been thinking myself that what's happening on the globe? We have people on this earth, or in the villages, that they have talent, they're dedicated, but they've never gone to college. They don't have a master's degree. You know what? The higher you go for your education, you lose the main touch. We have graduates with masters in agriculture. They have spent maybe in 5 years without touching a hoe. And that the people advising government and donors on agriculture. It doesn't work like that one. So basically I was saying, there's this gap of sharing knowledge. We have most people graduate who supposed to stay in town. They don't want to stay in the village. So people in the village sometimes I think they need a lot of information and a lot of knowledge which we're not sharing with them. We put them on TV, they don't have access to TV. We put on newspaper, they don't read newspaper. So what approach can we use to go and reach to the people? Okay. And again, how do I present myself? I've dressed up as I am, but I'm teaching people how to make compost today. Does that have that touch? No. I have perfumes. You see, where are my people are just smelling at me? I have that bottled water. No. I really worked with the top. You see? So I think I see that there's a lot of gap of sharing knowledge to people in the communities. Okay? And again, organizations, we don't work together. Okay? You come say, I'm promoting pit compost. Another NGO is coming, I'm promoting teaching hippie compost. Another one saying, it's Chinese compost. Compost is compost. We don't share people to understand that. You see there. So I think Permaculture approach, we're doing a lot. Okay? Orphan cares. Instead of a donor, somebody asking a donor to be giving the money to buy things for orphans. With this approach, that means they're able to grow food on their own. What you are supporting them is you have given them the money to be trained, and the training becomes hands-on, then they start what? For example, if you have a donor that is supporting you on a food security project and they are giving you money to buy fertilizer, okay? If you stop giving the money, the soil is too poor, nothing. But for this, the money comes in, it trains the people to be able to how to improve their soil fertility on their own. Even if there's no money, the soil is healthy, they'll just be growing. They'll be just be growing. People who are positive, okay, they don't have much energy to be going very far to grow food. With this approach, you grow food throughout the year and you don't have to buy fertilizer. Say, I don't have money to buy fertilizer to buy food. No, you just grow food within your homes. Okay? So there's a lot that I think we're doing Permaculture, and there's I think nothing new. I think we're able to, we don't use fertilizer by learning from nature. Who is applying fertilizer in that forest for things to grow? That's where we're missing agriculture. If people are talking of sustainable agriculture on paper whatsoever, a best model is a forest. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay? What we're sharing is people don't understand it. That's why even when they're making compost, they don't use compost. Why? Because they don't believe and they don't understand that those mineral sources which were in a bag of fertilizer, we still have them naturally. You see there? So all what you see here is things that have been grown without fertilizer. We have not bought a single chemical to control pests and diseases. We're working with nature and learning from nature. How does nature control pests? If we can understand that, money without planning and learning will not solve the problem. Okay? So let's learn from the old traditional knowledge on food and infrastructure development and sustainable building whatsoever from the local knowledge from Africa.